Hello there my fellow holotable heroes and welcome to another Fleet Guide video, and I hope this will be the final Leviathan counter video I will ever need to make, because we went through quite a different versions even before the TIE Dagger buff, right? We had some changes to Leviathan and then TIE Dagger hit, again shaken up totally everything what we can do. And looks like finally CG acknowledged that they did a little bit mess up the mirror matches. So you've probably seen already with last night's game update, there has been change to Scimitar's reinforcement ability. So that's what I'll be doing in this video, just kind of hopping into my fleet arena. We'll do a couple of battles just to see how Scimitar actually helps you out in mirror matches. And for my initial testing, it's very easy, very straightforward. So definitely good to see that now Leviathan mirror matches are no longer an RNG fest that they were previously. So the one thing that did change is the reinforcement ability. So what I added was all allies gain 15 speed, double for Sith allies for the rest of the battle, including capital ship, and persist through defeat. So what happens is, right, if you lose the coin flip, the enemy goes first, disables your reinforcement. First reinforcement is Scimitar, it gets destroyed, but this speed bonus still will persist, and this will then allow you to outrun the enemy when it comes to the ultimate race in the Leviathan mirror matches. However, it's also all allies gain 15 speed, so this could also potentially be useful for some other mirror matches. So definitely whenever I'll be testing going for mirror matches, I will give a go as well with Scimitar's reinforcement, because getting extra speed, it often then allows you to outrun the enemy capital ship when you're racing to the ultimate. And for obviously Sith allies, you're getting double, so we'll be getting 30 speed for our Sith allies. So this will allow us to eventually outrun and win the ultimate race, I hope. Anyway, that was the change. Just, you know, an additional paragraph on the Scimitar's reinforcement ability, and suddenly Leviathan mirror matches hopefully will become a lot more manageable. Now, just to be sure that I do lose the coin flip here, I will remove a mod from my Darth Revan, but obviously in cases where you do win the coin flip in the initial starting Leviathan mirror match, you just hit autoplay and you win. But obviously this will just be focusing on what happens when you lose that initial coin flip. So let's just go ahead, hit the battle, and let's see how Scimitar fixes our problems with the Leviathan mirror matches, brings balance, I guess, to the fleet arena from that perspective. And there you go, they obviously disabled our engines first. Now, unlike previous counters where we did not want to spam debuffs too many areas, here just spam everything, because I guess the downside of having a Scimitar as the first reinforcement, you don't get to dish out a lot of debuffs, but we still need to be applying debuffs so we can actually, you know, get to the ultimate and get all our abilities available to be used. But anyway, let's just go ahead, disable their engines. We'll just be stuck constantly behind a bomber anyway, so I'm not gonna even bother moving my target to somebody else. Now my reinforcements were disabled as well on top of everything. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and heal up a little bit. And this is where we're gonna go ahead and bring in Scimitar. It will get destroyed instantly. Down it goes, but the speed effect will persist. So now eventually we will be able to outrun. So at this point, you can just hit autoplay and wait for your ultimate. Obviously, if this is Grand Arena, you might want to play it manually just so that you know, you can get more banners. But for the purpose of Fleet Arena, you just hit full auto, and that's basically it. Like, you know, as long as Dagger is alive, you basically can't kill off anybody. They can't take any of your ships down. Looks like there's a reinforcement priorities. They're bringing Sith Fighter next, and I would imagine after the ultimate they will bring Mark 6. If this will be Grand Arena, you could actually just have two reinforcements, just Scimitar and Mark 6, and then you could manually bring in Mark 6 as your second reinforcement, and, you know, just one-shot bomber or whatever. But as you can see, you know, pretty straightforward. It's definitely good to see here that finally Leviathan mirror matches from here on out should be really RNG free for the most part, because you can see nobody can take out anybody, right, until you hit the ultimate. There you go, bringing in Mark 6. Why does AI do that? Like, you got like what, 80 stacks of swarm or whatever it's called, and you don't use basic to insta-kill the bomber. It's a bit funny, but anyways. Again, if you obviously play it manually, you can maybe get away with more banners, but I think all what you really need, like from Grand Arena perspective, if you do want to obviously maximize banners, you just have a Mark 6 as well as Scimitar, and you should be good to go. Okay, so as you can see, pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and do it again, and we'll just play it as if it would be a Grand Arena, just to show you that, you know, that's really the only two reinforcements you will need. If you do decide to do obviously this in Grand Arena, which maybe is not a bad thing, because, you know, it's not that terrible in terms of banners. It definitely feels better than, you know, other counters we have. So if you're definitely looking for, you know, best banner wins versus Leviathan, maybe mirror match will be the way to go. As you can see, they went first, and I will just keep hitting everything we can. And good, yep, there we go. Let's go ahead, spam some debuffs. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead, heal up the team, disable their reinforcement, not reinforcement, their engines. Let's go ahead and do that, and we'll just keep hitting, because, you know, we can't do anything anyway until we hit our ultimate. Okay, so this is a slightly different scenario. They did not disable our reinforcements. So actually what I want to try here is, yeah, let's bring in Scimitar. You always have to bring in Scimitar for sure, but in terms of banners, this will be better, right? Because now Scimitar doesn't get destroyed. Okay. Alright, sure. Let's get stealth, I guess. Okay. There we go. Just playing it manually, as this would be a Grand Arena, to try to maximize the banners, just that we get an idea of how many banners we can actually pull out of our team. So definitely seems like a best case scenario where your reinforcements don't get disabled yet, so Scimitar lives, and this obviously allows you then to stay alive with everybody. We'll just do that. Okay, do basic over here, do that. Okay, there we go. They do their AoEs. Let's see if we can keep everybody alive, and that's what you really need. You just need Scimitar, I think, and Mark 6. That's enough. And from here on out, obviously, we've got options. Who do you want to take out? I guess TIE Dagger is the main troublemaker, so we'll just shoot him down. And then we can obviously just finish this battle. And then just a case of, can we keep our Scimitar alive or not? Okay. Alright, I guess the downside is, like, their Mark 6 could have sniped somebody, right? But they went for my Mark 6, then it survived the insta-kill, so I guess... in practice, it doesn't even matter, I guess, do they disable your reinforcements so that your Scimitar gets bombed anyway, because if they do, then you will hit the ultimate before they bring in Mark 6, right? Whereas in this case, they did have a chance to bring in Mark 6. I'm not sure which scenario I actually prefer more, to be honest, in terms of banners. Like, this one has potentials to give you more banners, but it's not a guaranteed. And again, you know, we have little control over whether they disable our reinforcements or not, because it all depends on the amount of debuffs they apply. And again, a little bit of energy there with thermal detonators and everything. But as you can see, for the most part, we were lucky there that their Mark 6 wasn't clever enough to nuke out one of our main guys. Let's go ahead, knock him out. Dodge. Okay, we have to get through it one more time, so let's go ahead, do a basic. No heals available, so I don't know, in terms of banner age, what we're looking at, 72 banners, something like that. So that's definitely, I think, a bit better than, you know, profundity or endurance or whatever you would use to do. So I have one more battle left, so let's go ahead. Again, just remove all these reinforcements, just to try and obviously simulate more like a Grand Arena experience where you want to maximize the banners. So you only need to bring in Scimitar again and Mark 6. We don't need anything else here. In terms of Grand Arena, obviously for the Fleet Arena, you do want to have full set of reinforcements, because otherwise, you know, as you can see, the game will just play some random stuff, and then when you do hit the autoplay, they might not bring, you know, your safe reinforcement if you don't have them equipped. Okay, let's go ahead and disable their engines. Let's see if they'll be able to disable my reinforcements now or not in this case as well. Okay, alright. Okay, so now we got a little bit different scenario where they did disable reinforcements. So again, we're just trying to simulate here Grand Arena and just compare, obviously, in terms of the bannerage, how that would look like. We also have to bring in Scimitar first, just so that we start gaining speed. There we go. Okay, keep going. Do an AoE. Hit that. Now we can disable their reinforcements. Okay. Alright, now they're going to go ahead and bring in Seed Fighter, which we destroy, which is good. Okay. There we go. I'll just keep you know, hitting bomber because there's nothing else we can do anyway. And now we bring in Mark 6. And sure, do an AoE, why not? And then get him out. Alright. And there we go. So that's the difference, I guess. If they don't disable reinforcements on turn 1, they can bring in Mark 6 and snipe somebody out. If they do disable reinforcements, then you get to the ultimate before they get to bring in Mark 6. So I guess both cases it's going to be like similar bannerage, I would say. Although there is one thing I would like to test out now playing this through. So if they do disable your reinforcements first, right? And you bring in Mark 6 first reinforcement so it doesn't get destroyed, and then Scimitar as the second reinforcement. Will you have enough speed, you know, after bringing Scimitar as second reinforcement to still win the ult race? Let's try it out. Let's see. Hopefully we'll get the AI to disable reinforcements. I just wasted another refresh. I really want to test this out. Okay, yeah, they go first. Yeah. Then they start spamming their stuff, we'll start spamming our stuff. They do their AoE, we do our AoE. They do a heal, we do a heal. We down disable their engines. Okay. We'll just keep hitting bomber. And hopefully they will disable my reinforcements now. Perfect, that's what we wanted. So let's test this out. Do we have enough speed if we bring in Scimitar as the second reinforcement? That will be interesting. All right. So what I'll do, you know, we try to maintain the banners, right? It's Grand Arena. Bring in Mark 6. Obviously, it will not get destroyed. So the question is then, will we have enough speed to outrun? There we go. Okay. All right. Yep. Do some of that. Because that obviously that could help with banners a lot, because then Scimitar doesn't get destroyed. But because you get the speed boost later on, is it enough? You know, just with like one turn to go to outrun them. So at this point as well, because we didn't have the speed boost, they were able to bring in Seed Fighter before we destroyed the reinforcements. So you can definitely see that this is playing differently now. Okay. Let's see. Just want to test this out while I'm recording this to see Scimitar second reinforcement. Is it good enough? Alright, so now we bring in Scimitar. Doesn't matter, just hit him, I guess. Let's go ahead and put Retribution up there. Sure, give me an AoE. Okay. Do some of that, hit him, and we won the ultimate race. So I guess Grand Arena scenario, this would be the perfect reinforcement order if you do want to obviously keep Scimitar alive and save yourself a couple of banners. So definitely good to test this out. Maybe we should run this strategy one more time just to make sure I didn't get lucky or something, because actually it's the first time I try this out. And yeah, potentially, obviously, if you time your heals and everything, you could end up with a 75 banner win here. Let's try it out. I mean, they still have everybody alive, so let's see if they can actually take somebody down, or, you know, do something that we don't want them. Or will we actually get stuck and we can't take... No, we should be able to take somebody down, right? We got shocks and everything. We got healing immunities. We got doubt on him now. Fear, buff these spells. We should be able to burn for this guy, right? Okay, there we go. So that was bomber number 1. I think just get bomber down first and then we'll deal with dagger next. So let's see, gonna knock you down, heal up the team. We'll just keep going. That should finish him. Maybe go after fighter next, right? He's got healing immunity, so let's get tenacity up. Perfect. Let's go ahead, knock you down. I don't think, let's see if I have another heal available or not. No, that would be it. Okay, but you're still looking at 73 banner win right there, so I think that is very good. So let's try and test this one more time, the same strategy, just to make sure I didn't get lucky. Maybe let's try it versus different opponent as well, just to see. Okay, let's just go ahead and knock you out again. Let's try to simulate the Grand Arena battle, where hopefully they will destroy reinforcement. So at least, I guess it gives you some flexibility when you want to maintain banners. Do you want to bring in Scimitar first or second as a reinforcement? So I think that is pretty cool. But from Fleet Arena perspective, yeah, you just want to bring in Scimitar and then hit autoplay, right? Because AI will not have high priority for Scimitar. I think there was some discussion in our group, hey, what if you only put Scimitar as the only reinforcement? And then obviously Scimitar will be brought in and to try and stop, trying to stop the mirror match. But then if you see that your opponent set Leviathan only with 1 reinforcement, you can just assume, hey, that's going to be Scimitar. Then just you don't do mirror match, because if the only ship they have as their reinforcement is Scimitar, then other counters like Profundity, as well as Galactic Republic, even the Executrix counter, they should work much better, right? Because they will not have the Terminator train with Seed Fighter as the reinforcement. They will not spam debuffs without Mark 6. They don't have the insta-kill and everything, right? So if I were you, I wouldn't put just Mark 6 down as your only reinforcements on defense, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe over time we'll figure out some sort of reinforcement or their comp that can throw something off, but I don't know. Either way, at least Leviathan mirror matches are becoming a lot more manageable now. But then again, even maybe in a mirror match, if they only have Scimitar as the reinforcement, you might still win the ult race, right? Because if they don't give enough debuffs out, I don't know. Again, you could try this out, but I personally wouldn't. I still think if you do put Leviathan on defense, you should do it with a full Sith lineup. It's going to be the most challenging to take down. Unless they use, obviously, a mirror match now. And Profundity has been reliable as well. Can get dicey at times, I'm not gonna lie, but for the most part, I think I've just probably lost twice in about 100 battles I've done so far, so it's been pretty reliable for me at least. Anyway, as you can see, we brought in the same thing, Mark 6 as the first reinforcement, Scimitar as second, and I'll just wait and see, will this allow us to win the ult race in the end or not. Let's go ahead, because then, yeah, there we go. So I guess for Grand Arena, this would be the ideal scenario where they destroy your reinforcements, then you bring in Mark 6 so it doesn't get nuked, then you bring in Scimitar as second reinforcement, and in this case they don't have a chance to bring in Mark 6 out, so you end up with all 5 ships alive. So maybe if you time the heals right in the end, you could even end up with 75 banner win, but most cases 73. If they don't destroy your reinforcements, again, you can bring in Scimitar as the first to gain speed advantage, and then Mark 6 as the second. But then, in those cases, if you've seen from the second battle, they do bring out their Mark 6 Interceptor out. So in that case, they could nuke one of your guys. So I think these last 2 battles are, I guess, the ideal scenario of how you want the battle to go. And there we go, guys. I've done a few battles, actually more than I planned, but just because obviously it just came up the opportunity to test this out, whether we switch Scimitar and Mark 6 reinforcement order. It works still really well, and obviously Fleet Arena perspective as always, just reinforce Scimitar first, then hit auto, and don't worry about it, because in Fleet Arena you don't need to worry obviously about banners, you just want to save yourself time from playing. From Grand Arena, playing manually can get you some good banner wins as well. So hopefully this really will be the final Leviathan mirror match I will ever have to do because I don't know. Can they ruin it in the future with something else? Some new plug and play ship that can mess things up? I don't know. But for now, Scimitar totally solved the problem of mirror matches. Brought the balance back to the fleet arena where, you know, the climbing is kind of RNG and stress-free, and as well giving us opportunity for some high banner wins in Grand Arena if you are doing a mirror match with obviously slightly different reinforcement order as I've shown you in the last 2 battles. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.